This is a really great way to add a fiber-dense, omega-3 rich, healthier snack alternative that the kiddos can enjoy learning how to cook with.
I don't really care that my hands are chocolatey. I mean, liquid.
After you're done.
Yeah, after I'm done. But I
Or else you'll have to eat all those.
Welcome! Thanks for joining us on One Meal Fits All for Busy Moms. Do you ever wish that school lunches and snacks and even breakfast could just make itself? I do. But because we're on spring break right now, I'm hoping to share with you a little recipe that you can use as a breakfast ball, as an energy ball, to pack for recess snack and make it kid-friendly. And later on, I'll show you whether or not.
We're gonna make the school-free one and this for the school one.
Yes.
Two versions.
And I'll show you how to modify it with certain ingredients that may be baby safe for your 6 to 12 month old later too, okay? Now, my name is Angel and I've been a dietitian since 2012, and this video is for general information only and not to act as a replacement for your healthcare provider. Yeah, I'm supposed to say hi there. Hi there, everyone. Okay, now let's get started. So in our school, like the school that they attend, there's a nut-free policy, and so we definitely want to go with something like a wow butter instead of peanut butter, but I'm gonna let both kids make the same recipe in 2 different ways so that you can follow along and sort of see how different it turns out. Okay, so I'm gonna give each kid identical setup.
Except my bowl is bigger because
Your
I'm older.
Okay, so we're first going to start off with 1 cup of rolled oats. Does it say 1 cup?
Yes.
1 cup. So each of the ingredients offers something unique. Okay. The oatmeal will offer a lot of soluble fiber, which is good for gut health and good if the adults and kids in your family struggle with constipation. I think I've also made this before with large flake oats, but I just found it a little too chewy, so I'm sticking with the rolled oats. Just pour all of that in. And then we're gonna add 1 cup of coconut. So in terms of coconut, when you go to the store, you might notice that there's a couple different versions. Like you do wanna buy the unsweetened kind, and this says medium, which means that the texture is a little bit more, you can see it, it's a bit more flaky. And then there's also the unsweetened fine version, which is more powdery. And so I'm going to show you what the different textures will look like. So maybe moi moi. Yeah, you can use this one. So we're going to add 1 cup. Oh, you grab the 1 cup. We're going to put the 1 cup of the medium coconut texture into moi mois. So cooking with kids, it's good to do recipes that are very forgiving in terms of precise measurement, just so there's less pressure on everyone. Like this is loosely 1 cup. And when before you throw it in, let's just show the camera a little bit what that texture looks like.
Smells good.
So just kind of
Smells good.
coarse.
And it smells good.
Oh, and it smells good. Okay, and now Christian's gonna do 1 cup of the fine one.
Can I do the peanut butter one?
Sure, you can do the peanut butter one. Now,
No, he's allergic.
no, he's not allergic to peanut. Peanuts are actually a legume. He's allergic to other tree nuts. Okay, so that's loosely 1 cup. And you can see, go just show the camera a little bit carefully. It's more like a fine powder. But let's just see how it turns out. And it's also more paler
And
white.
both of them stick on your hands.
Yeah, now the next ingredient is, so coconut offers additional sort of fiber and aroma and flavor, and it's quite delicious. And then we're gonna add 1/2 cup of ground flaxseed. So where's your 1/2 cup? Where's your 1/2 cup? 1/2. 1/2 is 1/2 cup. That's 1/3. Try again. That's right. Okay, so we're gonna do 1/2 cup. This is a 1/2 cup. And ground flaxseed offers a lot of nuttiness, a lot of flavor, and it's got omega-3s inside, as well as more soluble fiber. And it's a source of plant-based protein as well because it is a seed. Okay, so loosely 1/2 cup.
Okay.
Now, once we've mixed this up, we can just set it aside for a second, and then we can make some pretty tough decisions as to whether or not we want to add chocolate chips. Now, if you chose to add chocolate chips, then you would just add a 1/4 cup. It's gonna add to the sweetness, of course, but you don't wanna add it right this instant. Instead, we're just gonna work on the ingredients that bind this together. So Gogo, can you grab your white bowl, please? So now we're gonna mix together the binding ingredients. So Gogo requested that he makes the peanut butter one, and then you're gonna make the wow butter one. So we're gonna put equivalent portions, whether you're making a nut one or wow butter. Grab your 1/3 cup measure. Okay, so this is my little trick because we have to measure honey for this recipe. I'm just gonna spray the inside of this measuring cup slightly with oil before we measure, so the honey will just slide off of there instead of getting stuck. So just hold on to your oily 1/3 cup measure, and then we're gonna put
Hey, this is
1/3.
supposed to be goals.
Doesn't
1/3.
matter.
Now, while I'm doing the honey, I want to be crystal clear that you definitely don't want your under 1-year-old baby to come into contact with this honey. So if your baby is like around the area where you're cooking with honey and you're worried that they might actually grab the bottle or lick anything, even though this is pasteurized honey, whether it's pasteurized or not pasteurized, raw or not, like any form of honey, even if it's cooked into a honey nut Cheerio, it cannot be offered to a baby that's under 1 year old. So just be mindful of that they're not accidentally ingesting any. Okay, so pour it into your white bowl, and then just hold it there patiently and let it all drip inside. And then we're gonna add to that. Yeah, it's really fast because we sprayed the oil. And then what we're gonna do is we're going to add 1/2 cup of wow butter. That's right. So we're gonna measure using our 1/2 cup. So keep holding it patiently over the bowl so that it drips all the oil, all the honey in. If you've licked it, Gogo, then don't put it in where everybody else needs to eat it too, okay?
I know.
You know.
Mommy,
It's pretty good? Okay. So Mama, I'm gonna give you this, and you're just gonna try to scoop that in. And Gogo, we're gonna do the same thing with the peanut butter, okay? So where's your 1/2 cup? So the interesting thing about peanuts is it's actually not a nut. It's actually closer to the bean family. It's a legume. Peanuts grow and have a root system
Peanuts.
underground. So kids that are allergic to tree nuts may not necessarily also be allergic to peanuts. So we're gonna do 1/2 cup of this.
that's pretty sticky too.
Okay. So Christian, you're gonna grab this and you're gonna empty it in the best you can. So it's a pretty sticky, messy recipe, but it can be a lot of fun for kids to be able to make a snack that they can
I
proudly
got it
bring
in
to
one
school.
go.
That's great. Okay. Mama, do you need some help?
No?
No? Okay. So she doesn't need any help, which means that we're gonna add the final ingredient. We can actually just add a teaspoon of vanilla. Let's take turns. Let's put this here. Put this down. And then you're gonna go microwave this for just 30 seconds. So we're gonna melt that together in the microwave, and then after it's done microwaving, then we are going to stir in just a teaspoon of vanilla.
Yeah. But Mom, what about the option of chocolate chips?
Yeah, we'll do that after we're mixed it in, because I don't want the heat from the honey and nut mixture or wow butter mixture to melt the chocolate chips. We want the chips to remain whole. Okay, so 30 seconds, he says it's already really hot, and it is pretty hot. So Gogo, you're gonna stir that.
With a spoon?
Yeah, but stir carefully so it doesn't splash on you. Okay, Christian, oh, you did such a good job. So now we're gonna add 1 teaspoon.
Of vanilla just to make it smell good.
Yeah. Okay, so we're not gonna touch each other's food items so that we keep the nut-free one nut-free, okay? Because this particular recipe is quite good for refrigerating, and then they can pack it to school. I've even tried freezing them and then defrosting them, and to me they're still okay. But if you like them fresher, then they could probably stay in your refrigerator for 3 to 5 days. So Gogo's is really nice and smooth. So we'll let Mumui work on hers a little bit while we show Gogo's. Okay, so the peanut butter one is looking really, really quite smooth. And now it's just easy peasy. We're just gonna combine this into here using the same spoon and spatula. Okay, so now we're gonna mix the wow butter honey vanilla mixture into more moist.
Little splash.
Okay, lovely. So it might take a little bit of time to have it come together, but I'm just gonna help you a little bit. So you can fold in and then press. Fold and press. And then the heat is now much less than what it was when it first came out of the microwave. So, do you want chocolate chips, Coco?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So if your kiddos want chocolate chips, this is the step where you can add it. And I'm actually just going to add like a 1/4 cup because it's already plenty sweet. Like between the honey and the sweetness from the wow butter, it's going to be pretty sweet. So just a 1/4 cup of whatever chocolate chip that you like. Here, Christian. Okay, and then just throw it in. That's okay, Miss. Don't worry. Messes will happen.
That's why this is a very messy one.
Now, what I have here, you can do it however you wish. Like some people use parchment paper. I just have these little trays that I'm putting a silicone mat on top of for them to roll the balls so that they don't stick. And then I'll put them in the refrigerator so that they become more solidified before I then put it into a Ziploc bag for longer term storage. Or I could also put it into just a fridge safe container. So the peanut butter and fine coconut powder one, it looks a bit lighter in color, and
Some
the coconut is a bit.
chips are mushed.
Yeah, the coconut is definitely more hidden. The wow butter one is a bit darker in color, and the coconut is a bit more pronounced. You can see the specks a bit more. So that's the main difference. Okay, so now this is the messy part, but what we're gonna do, again, do not touch each other's. Okay, Momoy, so
How many balls do we want to make?
let's make them about the size of a foosball ball. I'm gonna just take off my ring. Everybody has clean hands. Okay, so I'm gonna go with, I'm just gonna make one from each, okay? And I'm gonna go with the nut-free one first. So I'm just gonna take about 2 tablespoons or so worth. And then I have to be quick because I don't want the chocolate chips to melt. Like they already have melted a little bit. And so all I'm trying to do is just quickly put it together. I'm not spending a lot of time. I'm just trying to keep it together. And so the moment you have this kind of foosball size ball, we're just gonna put this down. Okay, now I'm going from nut-free to the peanut one. We can't go the other way, otherwise I've cross-contaminated the peanuts into the wow butter one. So this one, I'm also gonna bind it together just at the pressure of my hands. And again, making a ball about the size of a foosball and then putting it down on the tray. So however many you want to make, you can make mini ones or bigger ones, but I think this is a really great way to add a fiber-dense, omega-3 rich, kind of healthier snack alternative that the kiddos can enjoy learning how to cook with. And as they continue on with this messy but fun process, I'm gonna wash my hands and show you how to modify it for your baby.
I don't really care that my hands are chocolatey. I mean, liquid.
After you're done.
Yeah, after I'm done. But I do
Or else
care
you'll
that-
have to eat all them.
Okay, so how to modify this for baby? Now, there's a couple ways. In terms of the ingredients, like while you could serve regular oatmeal to babies 6 months and up, it doesn't have a lot of iron, and that's why it's more recommended at 6 months when you're trying to rebuild your baby's iron stores to go and buy an infant fortified baby cereal. And while we're talking about infant cereal, if your baby is just starting solids and you haven't introduced any of the common food allergens yet, you want to be careful that when you go buy that infant cereal that you're looking for one that just has the wheat only, because some infant cereals also have milk powder or some source of milk protein also added to it. So you do need to look more closely at the ingredients to make sure you're not accidentally introducing two common food allergens. This is the wheat and the milk together at the same time. So instead of traditional oatmeal then, you would get the infant oatmeal that's iron fortified, or if you have an older child, maybe more 9 months, 12 months, already eating a variety of iron-rich foods, and you happen to be making oatmeal for the rest of the family, you can absolutely just cook them some oatmeal. I wouldn't give it to them raw like this because the texture is too dry and it would just crumble and be more of a choking hazard. So it's more so that you would use this as an ingredient and cook it as you would normal hot oatmeal. I would not, in the younger babies, give the added sugars like the chocolate chips. You also cannot, again, give honey to babies under 1 year old. And how I would be able to serve one of these ingredients inside the oatmeal is I can give natural, smooth peanut butter. But you cannot just give the peanut butter just like that. It's very gooey and gloppy, and it's a choking hazard if you served it the way that it is. So, using the peanut butter bowl that we have earlier, if you were to want to add a bit of natural peanut butter into the oatmeal that you're serving for your baby that's 6 to 12 months old, you would just basically have some smooth natural peanut butter just like this, and you would add just a little bit of water. So I prefer to use boiled water or water that's already been boiled and cooled down, so that it's a safer water source, because I realize that moms are everywhere and your tap water may not be appropriate to give to your baby. Here in British Columbia, we actually have really safe tap water, but I just want to say, to be safe, you can always use boiled chilled water, and I just use boiled straight from there. Now, I might have added a touch too much water, but you would basically just add water until it's more diluted. So this might be a little too thin, but that's okay. I mean, if I'm adding this into oatmeal and the oatmeal is going to continue to swell, it's actually better to be thin than better to be too thick. So just be mindful that when you go out and buy peanut butter, if you're giving it to your baby, it has to be natural, meaning there's no added salt or sugar, and it also has to be smooth. So you're not supposed to buy crunchy, because those crunchy textures are difficult. They can be a choking hazard, and they're also quite hard. Like, imagine if you didn't have teeth and you were just kind of gumming crunchy, even if it's diluted peanut butter, it wouldn't be a very pleasant experience for you. Okay, so as you can see, my busy worker bees are just making the different and they're going to continue to work on this. And once done, again, I would just put it in the fridge, cool it, chill it, and then I can transfer into a freezer-safe Ziploc bag and either freeze it for longer term or leave it in the refrigerator in a Tupperware and keep it for 3 to 5 days. If you enjoyed watching this video, please watch another one or share it with a mom. In any case, one step at a time, moms. You got this. Or you can do both, she says. Share it and watch another one yourself. All right, with that, thank you so much.